This has been my life, and this was the goal that I set for myself. So, check. It's accomplished, and where do you go from here? I'm not going to worry about that. Right now, I'm just focusing on enjoying every moment.
Freestyle skier Hannah Carney had a near-flawless moguls run Saturday night, redeeming her dismal performance in Torino. We talked to the gold medalist right after her medal ceremony.
Canada picks up its first gold as an Olympic host country, and the U.S. grabs another silver and bronze.
Reigning world champion luger Erin Hamlin is struggling on the shortened women's luge course. We'll talk about how it affects her medal chances.
Welcome to another installment of Vancouver Today. I'm Christine Brennan.
And I'm Reed Cherner. The American Nordic combined team finished in 2nd, 4th, and 6th place yesterday. Johnny Spillane brought home a silver medal, the U.S. first in the sport. Nordic combined, an Olympic sport since 1924, includes 1 day of ski jumping and 1 day of cross-country skiing.
It was a lot of fun to compete today because it did feel like it had a little bit of a home feel. All that yelling can make you go a little bit faster, so it was great. Any of us, myself or Bill or Todd or Brett or whoever, we all have a good chance to be up there, and it takes the pressure off of one person to succeed. Now that we've gotten this first medal, and it is a breakthrough, and it takes some of the pressure off for the rest of the games because you know, there's two individual events, and if you don't get one now, you have one chance more to do it. And so to get it out of the way kind of in the first one feels awesome. It's kind of a relief off of our shoulders because there were a lot of expectations for the team. And now I think we can continue to focus and refocus on the next events and just have the satisfaction of knowing that we've gotten the hardest one, which is the first one, out of the way, and now we can just focus on doing the best job we possibly can for the last two events.
We also caught up with the U.S.'s first and right now the only gold medalist of these games. Here's what Hannah Carney had to say about her win.
It's hard to even talk about without getting emotional. I walked into that stadium expecting to see a couple friends and family and some photographers. I think there were 20,000 people in the stadium. I was more nervous walking in there than I was before my run, and that's the honest truth. And watching the flag come up through the audience, that's what the Olympics is about. And you have the medal around your neck, the flag's going up, the anthem's playing. The tears came, and they did not pour out of my face, but they were filtering out of my eyes the entire time. I just knew it was going to go my way. It's my time. I've been working towards this goal, and here I am with a gold medal around my neck. This is my gold medal, and America's first gold medal.
Carney denied Jennifer Heil the gold medal on Saturday, but the Canadians finally captured a gold medal on their home soil with Alexander Bilodeau's winning mogul run. American Brian Wilson added to the U.S. medal count with a bronze. Reporter Sal Rubel describes the scene.
I started walking back towards the media center through the crowd, and I figured, well, I'll know what happened by the roar of the crowd or the groan of the crowd. And then there was this fantastic roar that just swelled up, and this was like a cry, this huge sound that came up from there, and I knew, at that point the Canadian had finally won the gold medal on Canadian soil, and you could kind of feel there was a roar of happiness. I think there was a sigh of relief as well.
So, Christine, here we are. I think 3 Olympics. Finally, the Canadians get a gold medal on home soil.
Yeah. And the nation is breathing a sigh of relief and rejoicing at the exact same time. The tough thing with Heil, Reed, the other day, not winning and having Carney beat her at the last run down the moguls, course, that kind of was a dagger in the heart to the Canadians. And then the very next day, at the exact same venue, they get in the men's moguls. And I ran into some Canadians last night, folks in the street and people in the hotel and whatever, and they were saying, this means so much to us. And I think for us in the U.S., there's a lot of gold medals the U.S. wins. For Canada, going 0 for Montreal and 0 for Calgary, to finally have this happen, I think it's a great source of national pride. And thank goodness for them that it came on Sunday, early in the games. You didn't want them to have to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I don't know what kind of angst would have been going on in the country if they'd had to wait that long. The U.S. women's hockey team easily defeated China 12-1. Now here's some interesting Chinese hockey trivia for you. The country has 166 registered female hockey players out of 1.3 billion people. I don't want to do the math on that, but I think that's a very low percentage.
Christine, I know where you were last night. We had pair skating, and this is something that's going to start for you now for the next 10, 12 days. Right. So let's start with the pairs.
The sequins are flying at the skating venue. Yeah, pair short program. No big surprise. The Chinese, Zhen and Zhao, the 36-year-old and the 31-year-old married couple. This is their last try for a gold medal, obviously. They're in the lead. But instead of having a huge lead, it's just 0.7 of a point. So it's a relatively close thing with the Germans and then the Russians. And as you well know, Reed, this has been a big topic of conversation, as the Russians have won or shared every Olympic gold medal in pair skating since 1964. And the question is, will they be dethroned? Will that streak finally end? I think it might. I think the Chinese and the Germans are also excellent. So either one of those, if they beat the Russians, that will be the end of that streak after all these years. The Americans, I'm sure you're wondering, 10th and 14th, even a little worse than we thought. So not a good showing for the U.S., but a lot of interesting possibilities in tonight's long program in pairs figure skating. Word from our alpine skiing reporters that it's going to be sunny at Whistler today, and there will actually be a men's downhill. We took a tour of the course a few weeks ago with Canadian skier Steve Podborski.
Hey, I'm Steve Podborski, Olympic medalist and World Cup champion in the men's downhill. We're standing here at the top of the Dave Murray downhill, in fact, in the start hut for the men's race, the first one in the Alpine Series where the men will compete for their Olympic medals. Let's go take a quick tour of this downhill course, one of the most challenging in Olympic history. As the racer pushes out of the starting gate, he accelerates furiously up to 60, 70, possibly even 80 miles an hour, traversing across the hill. Up ahead, two big rollers. You have to make sure that you focus on the edge and push really hard as you drop down the drop. Focus on the next one, really push forward. At 70, 80 miles an hour, the wind is pushing you back. And now you look ahead, you've got to carry your speed around this little knob, and there's a long flat section ahead. Here is where the athlete prays that his skis and wax are as good as anybody else in the field, possibly better. As you can see, very, very flat, making long, slow turns as they go across the terrain, trying really hard to carry the ski flat. If your edges touch the snow, it actually slows you down. So you try to stay right on the plastic flat part of your ski as you approach the first real technical section of the course. This is called the toilet bowl. A really narrow section as you enter, then you cross over the edge and drop into this steep pitch. Big A-nets on the right and left, and dead ahead, as you can see, the hill turns really hard left. So two big sweeping turns, and then a big arcing left-hand turn, and right here, a big compression. You weigh twice as much as you normally would, and then come across a small false flat. Tuck for all you're worth across the finish line, hoping for that last 1/100th of a second. And then as you see the timing shacks on the right and the stands up ahead, you come standing up and you slow down and you carve back around and you look up the hill at the Olympic rings and you say, how did I do today? And ideally, you have Olympic gold. Luger Erin Hamlin is the defending world champion, but she's having trouble adjusting to the new start at Whistler. Hamlin, initially favored to win the U.S. first women's luge medal, may not make it onto the podium. Our reporter Jeff Zogett explains why.
The women will now be starting basically in a curve. It just makes it difficult for all women sliders to get into the course in a fast time. Erin Hamlin, she has struggled in training sessions. Her strength is not at her start. She's an exceptional driver once she gets on the track. She makes up time down the course because she's such a good driver. But even the German women are a little bit upset about this. Natalie Geisenberger, who is second in the world after her training run today, with great disdain, called the start position a Kinderstart.
The star-studded U.S. snowboard cross team competes today. The American team includes Torino gold medalist Seth Westcott and Nate Holland, a four-time X Games gold medalist.
You're not going to believe it. That's it again for Vancouver today. But get out the donuts, because here's a look at how the U.S. curling team reacted to their 2D debut on The Simpsons. Christine and I will be back tomorrow. That's a promise.
No skating tonight. What, they come here on Saturday night to clean the ice? Losers.
Actually, it's not curling. Players slide the heavy stones toward the circle or house as teammates control the direction and speed of the stone by sweeping in front of it with a special broom.
Marge, this is perfect for both of us. It's got bowling for me and sweeping for you.
One of the biggest shows that's on TV right now. Felt, confident enough that, curling could be, at least entertaining enough to make people laugh, or, at least something they could put on and people would watch. So.
Oh my, that delivery has less juice than Sunny Delight. Oh. Marge Simpson is sweeping fast and clean, but it won't be enough. I've never seen this before. Marge Simpson is trying to restart a stone. Come on, baby! She did it!
I mean, there's quite a few people out there that watch The Simpsons. Obviously, it's ran that long, and to be able to get it, maybe there's probably a number of them that never even heard of curling, and now maybe they'll even tune into it during the games. Yeah. To see what it is in real life.
I don't know, Beck. Is that really an Olympic sport?
They
check
might.
that out.
Sure.
It's just exciting to just see that maybe America's knowledge of our sport is increasing.
Why? Impossible move. Just like the time I shaved off Larry Bird's mustache while he was napping.